Attending a job interview unprepared is the worst suicidal move you can take towards your desire to secure a job. It's important you prepare for some common difficult interview questions to secure that dream job. Welcome back to our channel. If you have not subscribed, kindly consider subscribing and turning bell notification to alerted on future videos.
Today we will share some of the difficult questions and possible answers you should give when asked such questions. As always, my name is Robinson Beausire, taking the role of the interviewer, while my colleagues Irene will be the interviewee. Let's get straight to the questions. What critical feedback do you most often receive?
In the past, I've been told that I tend to talk over others in meetings. While I do get excited about the projects I'm working on and love collaborating with others, I deeply understand the value of active listening and using the diversity of ideas in the room. I've made it a point to listen actively by taking notes and make myself the last one to contribute while others are sharing.
Thank you for the response. Tell me about a time you overcame an obstacle.
I worked as a retail manager at a department store during prom season. A customer purchased a dress online and had it delivered to the store where it was accidentally purchased by another customer. Before calling the original buyer, I located the same dress at another location nearby. I ordered it to be pressed and delivered to her home the morning of prom with a gift card to thank her for her understanding. The customer immediately wrote us a 5-star review on several review sites.
How do you handle stress at workplace?
Communication is key for me in stressful situations, even if over-communicating is necessary to ensure everyone is on the same page. For example, I was working on a project with another team and we found there was duplicate work being done. By scheduling a weekly stand-up and keeping open lines of honest communication with our teams and managers, we pushed the project forward and ended up contributing to a significant company goal in a big way.
What have been your most positive and negative management experiences?
One of my past managers, while very talented, tended to manage our team's work closely with little flexibility on how things were to be done. It made me feel like I wasn't trusted and there wasn't much room for process improvement. My most recent manager was terrific at listening to my needs and helping me get the resources I needed to achieve my goals. I thrive under managers who create a collaborative, trusting team environment.
What is your biggest weakness?
One weakness I've been working on is my ability to provide constructive criticism. I understand how providing feedback on work or projects that could have been handled better is extremely valuable. To improve on this, I'm writing down my feedback before I approach my colleagues. This helps me to plan out my answer, give the best criticism possible and be less nervous. You can also say, it can be difficult for me to gauge when the people I'm working with are overwhelmed or dissatisfied with their workloads. To ensure that I'm not asking too much or too little from my team, we have weekly check-ins. I like to ask if they feel like they're on top of their workload, how I could better support them, whether there's anything they'd like to take on or get rid of, and if they're engaged by what they're doing. Even if the answer is, all good, these meetings really lay the groundwork for a good and trusting relationship.
Why are you leaving your current position?
While I highly valued my time at my previous company, there are no longer many opportunities for growth that align with my career goals. This position aligns perfectly with my skill set and how I'm looking to advance my career.
Why do you want to work here?
When I began looking for a new position, I purposefully sought out companies that are committed to integrity, philanthropy and innovation, and your company ranks at the top of the list. Your company has always been forward-focused and used technology to help improve the customer experience, and I'm looking for an opportunity where I can put my passion for great UX to work.
Why should we hire you?
You should hire me for my passion and proven abilities in organization for office efficiency. In my previous role as an administrative assistant, I came up with a plan to reorganize the office supply closet by category. Because items were easier to find, we placed fewer orders and saved 30% on office supplies year over year. I'm excited to bring my skills to this role.
Do you have any professional regrets?
I do always wish I had known what I wanted to do very early on in my career. Having more years to grow and advance would help me be even better at my job. However, I learned skills in my previous career that I wouldn't have otherwise learned that help me in my job today.
What are your greatest strengths?
I'd say one of my greatest strengths is bringing organization to hectic environments and implementing processes to make everyone's lives easier. In my current role as an executive assistant to a CEO, I created new processes for pretty much everything, from scheduling meetings to planning monthly all-hands agendas to preparing for event appearances. Everyone in the company knew how things worked and how long they would take, and the structures helped alleviate stress and set expectations on all sides. I'd be excited to bring that same approach to an operations manager role at a startup, where everything is new and constantly growing and could use just the right amount of structure to keep things running smoothly.
Tell me about a challenge you faced at work and how you resolved the challenge.
Funnily enough, last year I was part of a committee that put together a training on conflict intervention in the workplace, and the amount of pushback we got for requiring attendance really put our training to the test. There was one senior staff member in particular who seemed adamant. It took some careful listening to understand he felt like it wasn't the best use of his time given the workload he was juggling. I made sure to acknowledge his concern. And then I focused on his direct objection and explained how the training was meant to improve not just the culture of the company, but also the efficiency at which we operated, and that the goal was for the training to make everyone's workload feel lighter. He did eventually attend and was there when I talked to the whole staff about identifying the root issue of a conflict and addressing that directly without bringing in other issues, which is how I aim to handle any disagreement in the workplace.
Tell me about a time you demonstrated your leadership skills.
I think that a good leader is someone who can make decisions while also listening to others and being willing to admit when you're wrong and course correct. In my last role, my team and I were responsible for giving a big presentation to a prospective client. I quickly assigned different tasks to members of my team, but the project never really got moving. I gave everyone an opportunity to share their input and concerns, and it turned out that they were struggling in the roles I'd given them. I ended up switching a few people around. Meanwhile, the employee I'd assigned to give the presentation was nervous, but still wanted to give it a try. I worked with them to make sure they were ready and even held a practice session so that they could rehearse in a more comfortable environment. When the time came for the real thing, they nailed it. We landed the client and the company still has the account to this day. And that employee became a go-to person for important client presentations. I'm really glad I took the time to listen to everyone's concerns so that I could re-evaluate my approach and help my team be the best it could be.
Thank you for watching our channel. We also thank all of you who have subscribed to this channel. If you are new here, kindly consider subscribing to be part of this family. See you in our next video. Bye.